Alrighty. So, Hugo Poirier, thank you for joining me on this interview session. So again, this is Hugo Poirier, one of our students at the SLS Framework Mastermind, and Hugo Poirier is a financial advisor at one of the big banks in Canada, and he has basically closed his first deal since joining at $200,000 in AUM, and is generating consistently about 5 qualified appointments every week. And so, Hugo, for as much as I like talking, I want to pass the ball to you. Can you please tell us who you are, where you're from, where do you work, and more importantly, what it is that you do?
Sure. So I'm a financial advisor associate for one of the big banks in Montreal. I'm from Montreal, more in the West Island from Montreal, actually. So right now I'm targeting engineers. I help them build wealth through proper portfolio management, risk management, and financial planning, estate planning. So that's what I do right now. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that with me. So, one thing I really like about your situation, Hugo, and the fact that we're on this call is Um, I find your story very inspiring since you joined our SLS Framework Mastermind, and
Yeah.
currently you're about in your third year as a
Yep.
financial advisor at the bank. And you joined as a junior advisor, coming in the financial services world. Can you tell us a bit more? How was your life before joining the SLS Framework Mastermind? You can talk a bit more about how, you felt, going in the industry, perhaps with no specific strategy in growing your book of business. You know how there's this myth that it perhaps takes you 10 years of being in the industry to be successful and, building that referral machine first to
Yeah.
be successful. How did you feel before joining the SLS framework about all of that stuff?
Sure. So at the beginning, we're all like self-employed, a bit left on our own. And so what I was doing at the beginning, I was doing cold calls, right, to get a clientele. But when I say cold calls, I was literally going on the yellow pages and calling people randomly. I was making sure for sure that they're not on the do not call list, but I was making 200 cold calls a day. And um, maybe after 300 cold calls, there might be one person interested to meet me, right? But it required a lot of cold calls for a small, success at the end of the day. And if I wasn't making those cold calls, I couldn't have leads at the end. So now with the SS framework, I'm a lot more confident than I used to be before to
Yeah.
generate constantly leads every week. So it's
You would and that's what's interesting about that is you're saying that you had to use the yellow pages, and I'm not sure if it's something. I believe yellow pages is a Canadian thing only, but
yeah,
it's a booklet of
yeah.
of business
So
phone numbers and public phone numbers, and this is
yeah,
something that you had to figure out on your own, right?
exactly.
It's not
Yeah,
something that the
yeah.
bank told you to do. It's just like, oh well, I don't know what to do, let me just try this, right? You were just trying trial and error, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I mean, it required a lot of work for lower results, and I needed something more consistent in my work to have weekly 4, 5, 6 meetings a week with a lot less work to do. So, and the SLS framework helped me achieve that for sure.
And that's what I want to get into actually. After joining the SLS Framework Mastermind, can you tell us how much more confident
Yeah.
you felt about becoming a successful advisor? Right now, you're still a junior, considered a junior advisor. How's the confidence level now in terms of sales, growing your book of business and your practice?
So for sure, like I get a lot more leads per week. That's one thing. Maybe I get 5 times. Usually I had one meal once a week, twice a week at max. Now it's constantly 3, 4, 5, 6. But the other things now I'm targeting engineers. So before maybe I had a lead, but he had almost no money or not qualified. Now because I'm targeting engineers, they have RSPs, they have TSFA, they have investments already, and they're a lot more qualified. So in terms of assets, it's exponential in terms of what can bring new assets to my business right now.
It's
So
it's qualified leads just based on the fact of their title, you're able
exactly,
to get
yeah,
qualified leads.
yeah. Because
whether they're immediately interested or not, at least you know that you're generating quality lead lists versus using a
exactly,
book of random
yeah,
lead lists, right?
exactly. Because before Yellow Pages was public phone numbers or businesses, and maybe 60% of them didn't have any investments. The average Canadian doesn't have any money saved in the bank. So it was really random before compared to today. It's a lot more targeted with the framework for sure.
Okay. And can you talk to us a bit more about that first deal you closed,
Yeah,
the SLS Framework Mastermind? How did that go? And like step by step, like the moment you know you because we definitely use LinkedIn, you connected to that lead on LinkedIn,
yeah.
and then how did the rest go in terms of setting that appointment, going through the calls and closing that deal? Can you just talk to us about how that felt?
Sure. Well, it feels good for sure. I mean, every time I see a positive answers, yes, I'm interested to talk to you maybe this week. Say good. I give it a time or a day and a time. Then we do the first call. I just say what I do and what my how I work with my team, and then we have the first meeting. Right. The first meeting, I just see his statement, and I see investments. I see what we can do to improve a proposal portfolio, and what I see, and now he sees the added value that we can bring him to them, and we make a financial plan for the next next his life, and with a good financial plan, estate planning, the client saw a lot of value that we could bring to him, and I mean, just this client with all this, he after two meetings, he said, okay, I'll do the switch, and he became a client after this.
Excellent. So that's after two calls and after having reached out to that
Yep,
lead, after having obviously niched down your practice. You don't
yep,
help anyone, you help only engineers who have investments and who at the
yep.
moment are looking for even better returns. So
Exactly. Yeah. Better returns, yes, and maybe more structure with a plan, a roadmap through for their retirement, right? So, and most people don't have yet financial planning.
excellent. Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us, Hugo. And there's also one more thing I want to discuss here is the life coaching aspect of our SLS framework mastermind. I felt it really resonated with you, and I would love to talk a bit more about that. In our first week, in our course, there is that aspect of life coaching, whether it's about knowing your why, or time and
Exactly.
task management. But for you, it was more the time and task management. And can you tell us a bit more about how you felt going through our course and learning a thing or two about time and task management?
For sure, but this is how I see it. Is just, I mean, the end goal is having a long and healthy and happy life, right? And being successful at my work is just an equation of that, right? See, and now there's other stuff. I want to be healthy, be successful in other parts of my life with friends, family. So the week one really helps you organize your day to achieve, yes, a bit higher results at work, but not just that, just being healthier, more organized with your time, think how valuable is your time and who you spend it with, and just be a better person than average just every day. So today I'm way more organized than I used to be a year ago for 100% with many goals I want to reach. Going in the gym, learning, reading books, anything. So I mean, you learn to be close more deals, but be a better person in general for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and especially with the gyms opening again. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know when people are watching this video, but COVID-19 is still up and running.
yeah,
Uh, so good to hear that you have those goals, and that you have a structure around accomplishing set goals.
yeah,
And so thank you for sharing that with us, Hugo. And here I do have one more question is, what would you tell someone on the edge of joining the SLS Framework Mastermind?
yeah. So good question, and I'll share my thought process when I joined the group. And so I mean, you can do many investments in your life. You can invest a couple grand in stocks, real estate, but or even crypto, whatever. But the best investment you can make is in yourself. The best ROI you can ever make is investment in yourself. And a good course like this or a good book will always give you a best return on investments. And when I joined the course, I just did the math. Like I did, okay, so if the course helps me bring 1 million new assets to 2 million new assets, that will take not even a year to pay back the courses. So wasn't like a good deal for me, and then such a great return on investments I could make for the rest of my life. So I mean, that's the best ROI I'm looking for here, and this is why I joined it.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Hugo. Other than that, I think it's pretty much a wrap. Did you want to share anything else?
No, that's pretty much all. I mean, it's a long process. I enjoy it, and that's the most important thing for now.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining, and thanks for sharing your success story.
Good. You're welcome. Thank you.